Hello and welcome back to the zone, everybody. Welcome back to Stalker 2. Today we're going to be going over one of the best places to farm artifacts in Stalker 2. So in order to get to this location, all you have to do is complete the main story up into the point where you can go across this bridge and then you are into the garbage area. And for this, we're going to be heading right up over here to the cement factory. Once you have made it here to the cement factory, our first location that we're going to be going to is right over here across the bridge where our first artifact will spawn. This is going to be a thermal artifact, which means that it's likely going to be either a fire or a bleed resistant artifact. Leaving the cement factory and going over to this bridge, you will then see this big old smoke cloud over here. This is the burning fire station. So be careful of these anomalies throughout here, especially if you're just rushing here like I am. You will also likely be taking radiation throughout here because this place is fairly heavily irradiated unless you've already gotten some radiation resistant artifacts, which we can potentially get here in just a second. So even if you don't have them, don't worry about this. So long as you have some anti-radiation drugs or stacks of vodka or beer saved up, then you should be able to go through this without too much trouble. Right out here, you'll see this guy catching fire, at least if this is your first time here. And then the artifact is usually located throughout this starting area. Be careful of all the fire though. There it is. Alright. We got ourselves a flog. Once we have this location taken care of, the next location that we're going to be going is actually back across the bridge. And we're going to be going over here to this swamp area. This is for an acid or a chemical artifact, which can potentially give us radiation resistance. Once you reach this swamp, you will then start getting another indicator of an artifact. You can also potentially buy a better scanner at the cement factory. We'll talk about that towards the end of this video of where you may want to be spending your money, because you're going to be getting a lot of money thanks to farming these artifacts. This one can be a little bit tricky. It tends to be towards these acid pools though. So if you just want to search around here, you can usually find them. For this, we got ourselves a horn. Then the next location from our swamp is going to be right over to here, where we can get a gravity artifact. Our next artifact can be found out over here, where you can see we've got a lot of various things going on. So just be careful across these, and then look for your artifact, which should be somewhere in the middle. Also be sure to quick save whenever we're going around here, if you're worried about potentially dying, which I kind of am, because this is still pretty early on into this character. And I haven't gotten any real crazy armor or artifacts as of right now. Ah, there it is. We got ourselves a goldfish. Now from this location, we're going to be going right over here to the reloading plant. This is where we can get an electrical artifact, so we can potentially get some pretty good ones there for electricity resistance. This path is set up to where you can potentially get just about all of the really, really good artifacts, aside from the legendary artifacts where you need to go to specific locations in order to get them. But you can still get some of the best artifacts from this. You get things like liquid rocks, which give you maximum radiation protection and maximum chemical protection. You can get hypercubes from this. Those ones give you maximum radiation for maximum bleed resist and maximum thermal resist. You can also potentially get some of the better electrical artifacts, which I believe only go up to strong electricity resistance, and they also go up to strong radiation as well. So if you can get just a couple of those, it can be really good, as well as the place that we were just at with the gravity artifacts can give you other things like thunderberries, to where they can give you maximum endurance for maximum radiation. It's a really good artifact for running around and actually going and getting more of these artifacts once you have enough radiation protection to offset those. This is personally why I found that this route has been the best for farming artifacts for me, since you can get pretty much all of the strong artifacts and it's near a town, so you can sleep and then reset the artifact spawns after 2 days. Upon reaching here, we have the electricity artifact, which should be over here next to all of this electricity. This area is a little bit dangerous, and you may have enemies spawning up above, which they can have some pretty scary weapons, like sniper rifles. Usually it's around here. I have had this artifact fall through the floor before on me though, which can be really annoying, because if any of the artifacts fall through the floor, it can potentially mess up the spawns of this. Ah, there it is. Alright, I got a sparkler. And then the very last location we're going to be going is right over to here. This is for another thermal artifact, and then we can go to the cement factory in order to just reset these every 2 days. I'm also going to show you how to do that, and some of the gear that you might want to upgrade, which you can get in this starting area as well, that is very, very strong and can serve you throughout most of Stalker 2. Alright, over here at this area, you can get a thermal artifact. Usually it spawns close to this fire truck on the road. There is also quite a few fire anomalies here, so kind of be careful of that. Ah, here it is. And we got ourselves a cavity. So none of the artifacts that we got this run are way crazy, but that's okay because this run is really good for making money. So we can at least use them for that. Once you've collected all of your artifacts, run right back here to the cement factory. Once you get back to the cement factory, you can go over to this building, where there is both a vendor as well as a technician here. And this vendor can have some pretty good stuff. So we can just sell our artifacts here. Out of the ones that we got, none of these are really worth keeping, at least for me right now. And we got a total of 10,200 coupons from this. This is pretty good. This run on average will only take you about 20 minutes to run all the way through, not counting any other weapons or gear that you might pick up along the way, because you might find raiders that have died. This can be a really good way of earning money early on, as well as this vendor tends to sell a lot of really good stuff. He's got a ton of different bullets, he's got various weapon extensions, he's got some pretty good armors that you can buy, and some pretty good guns. Sadly, he doesn't really have too much for us right now that's really all that crazy. On top of that, since in the same room, there is a technician over here. If you go and talk to him, he can upgrade just about everything in these first couple zones that you can either buy or that you can find, with a very few exceptions. Like, he can't upgrade things like the Sega and some of the later rifles, but this guy can repair pretty much everything up to that. So realistically, anything that you're going to be finding in this area and any areas before this, he will be able to fully upgrade, assuming you have the credits for it, and assuming that you also have the blueprints that you may need for some of these. Now, leaving this shop and going right outside, and you will find this building. This is where you will have a bed. So you need to go all the way up. Well, not quite all the way up, but pretty high up here. And then on this floor, you can find your chest and your bed. So if you found any good artifacts, and maybe you don't have anti-radiation artifacts yet, you can store them here. Then if you would like to do this again, you can open up your map and check your time right up here, and then wait in bed. You will wake up and then you'll be hungry when you do, but this will pass so much time. You're going to want to wait here for 48 hours, so that then everything resets, including the vendor and our artifacts. Every time you wake up, you will need to eat, so be sure to eat, and then you can go right back to sleep. You may want to stock up on some food. The condensed milk and the canned food tends to get your health meter or your food meter up the fastest, so I'd recommend stocking up on those. As well as there is also a bartender in here who can also sell you food. So even if you're low on food, you can still buy them here. And I think there's a couple pieces of food that you can just eat at the bar. So if you're really strapped for cash, then that is a way to do this. One thing that you can also do in this town is, if you are searching for artifacts here, you can go over here and talk to the barkeep, and he will have a mission every 2 days to where you can search for a new artifact, assuming that you don't already have one. So he wants a lantern. So if we find a lantern on this, we can get 10,000 credits just from that, meaning that we can potentially get even more credits than the 10,000 that we got from just farming those artifacts normally. So once you've gotten your artifact pathing down, and you can just go keep collecting these ones, some of these take a little while longer to respawn. Sometimes you might have to wait for an emission for some of these to respawn. I wasn't getting any more spawns over here at the Hell location, but I was still getting them around in these two locations. Emissions also help. If emissions show up, then that, I think, guarantees that the artifacts will respawn in these given locations. But if you want some other equipment that you could use your money on, you can go right over to here, because there's two very good pieces of equipment in this zone. Over here, you can get a side quest from this guy. We've kind of done this in other videos, but might as well run through it on this as well. So run through here, go down this ladder, run this direction. You don't actually need any weapons to do this, although weapons might make this a little bit easier. Run past all of the rats. Try not to get caught on too many of them. Run into this room. Down this ladder. And then out past these guys. You can just ignore them for right now. And right here, we will grab our gun. Now this gun is called the Decider, and this gun is one of the best early game guns that you can get. This also counts as a quest item, so it can't be taken away from you at any point during the game, which is very, very useful if you don't choose to turn this quest in. This weapon is completely broken, but thanks to all the money that you'll be earning from those artifacts, you should be able to fix it up pretty easily. This clocks in at about 11,000 credits in order to fix up entirely, and it does have better stats than most of the assault rifles in the game. Once you've exited this place, you'll be right over here at the hell location once again. And the next area we're going to go is right over here. This is to get us some armor. Once you get to this location on the map, we're going to be going all the way up there. This does have an anomaly in it that will constantly mess with your vision. Once you reach the top of this building, then there will be this suit of armor right over here, which is the Seva D suit, which is without a doubt one of the best early game suits that you can get, as it provides really good protection. It counts as both a helmet and armor, and it also gets 3 artifact slots, so you can put your artifacts that you've gotten here, especially if you've gotten some of these anti-radiation ones. It also has really good upgrades because you can get all 5 of these unlocked, and at least one of them can be a lead container, meaning that you can carry around more artifacts. And that'll do it for the artifact gathering guide, as well as some really strong early game equipment that you can spend your hard-earned coupons on. Hopefully this helped you out a little bit. Stay safe out there in the zone, stalkers. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye!